Folks, if I could have your attention, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the City Council of Ottawa, Illinois. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Awesome.
Here.
Gainier.
Here.
Eichelkraut.
Here.
Les.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
We have 5
Would
present.
you all stand, please, and join in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the minutes of a regular meeting of the Council of the City of Ottawa, Illinois, held on Tuesday, August 16, 2016, and the minutes of a special meeting held on Thursday, August 25, 2016, both be approved as recorded in the permanent files of the City Clerk.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Awesome, any discussion, suggested changes or corrections? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Les.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Is there anyone wishing to appear before the council tonight?
Tom, if you could please share these with the commissioners
Sure.
and the mayor. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. As you know, my name is Donna Nordstrom, and I live on the south side of Ottawa. However, I am here tonight as the chair of the Marketing Committee for the Reddick Mansion Association, and we are respectfully requesting $5,300 in marketing money, pillow tax money, to be used for the marketing of the mansion. As you may recall, I made a similar request in August of 2015. At that time, in a follow-up meeting, we were told that the council wanted to roll that money into the new lease between the city and the Reddick Mansion Association. It's now a year later, there is no lease, and we have spent thousands of dollars on the marketing of the mansion. Since October 1st, we've had more than 4,700 people visit the mansion for special events, performances, and private gatherings. We've also given more than 2,000 tours of the mansion, and those have included visitors from 38 different states, the District of Columbia, 15 foreign countries, including South Africa, Bolivia, Mexico, and France. Of those 2,000 visitors, more than 60% of them have traveled more than 50 miles to visit the mansion. We are actually asking for less money this year than we did last year because the sign on the interstate came in significantly under budget, about half of what we had anticipated. That sign is bringing people into Ottawa. In the spring, I was at the mansion one day visiting with a couple that was waiting for a tour. They were regular commuters along I-80 between Chicago and the Quad Cities, and they had done some research on Ottawa and the mansion, but had kind of forgotten about us. They told me it was because of that sign advertising the Reddick Mansion and Gardens. They got off the interstate, came into town, and toured the building. We would spend part of that marketing money on rack cards. We distribute between 4,000 and 5,000 rack cards a year. We distribute them throughout LaSalle County. They're in Ottawa, Streator, Oglesby, Utica, LaSalle, Peru, Mendota, Seneca, and Marseilles. We also distribute them along the hotels between Ottawa and Joliet. Of course, all of our distribution is done by volunteers. As you know, we are an all-volunteer organization. Since the 1st of October, which is the beginning of our fiscal year, we have logged more than 5,700 hours of volunteer time at the mansion. That averages out to about 120 hours a week, or roughly 3 full-time employees. We would also spend some of this money on print advertising. We advertise in the LaSalle County Visitor's Guide, the Heritage Corridor Visitor's Guide, and we advertise twice a year in Starved Rock Country in their fall and spring editions. While being in those publications, we are in more than 200,000 magazines that are distributed throughout the state of Illinois. The Reddick Mansion, as a historic home, is a tourism attraction, and it brings people into Ottawa. We would appreciate your support and financial help. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Comments or questions? Okay, we'll take this under advisement. Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to address the council? Not, we'll move to Commissioner Eichelkraut's part of the agenda.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the biweekly salary payroll of August 26, 2016, in the amount of $335,747.53 be approved and warrants issued.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Gainier, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the monthly expense report of September 6, 2016, showing expenses in the amount of $2,381,249.15 be approved and warrants issued.
Is there a second? Commissioner Less, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that a resolution authorizing the execution of transit service agreements between the City of Ottawa, the Illinois Valley Brain Injury Clubhouse, and the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, St. Michael, the Archangel Council, which has been on file for public inspection since August 25, 2016, be adopted.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Gainier, any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, by putting this in place, instead of charging the Brain Group so much money per rider as we go along, we actually bill them for the amount at the end of the month, which lets us also take that and turn it into the government to actually triple our intake on the money, because that's matching money if we do it that way. It'll be the same on the next one coming up too.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that a resolution authorizing the execution of transit service agreements between the City of Ottawa, the Illinois Valley Center for Independent Living, and ADV and SAS be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Is there a second? Commissioner Awesome, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Anything else for the council, Commissioner Eichelkraut?
No, Mayor, not this time.
Commissioner Awesome?
Moved by Commissioner Awesome that a resolution authorizing the execution of a standard agreement for management and supervision of the water and wastewater treatment plants between the City of Ottawa and Total Environmental Service Technologies Incorporated, which has been on file for public inspection since August 25, 2016, be adopted.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Eichelkraut, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Awesome that resolutions authorizing the execution of easement agreements between the City of Ottawa, Douglas Conroy, and Robert and Pamela Thrush be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Gainier, any discussion?
These are for the North Water Loop, and we're gonna waive a sewer connection for one of them and a water connection for the other. Pretty easy negotiations.
Any other comment? Roll call, please.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
We have one item of new business. Commissioner Awesome. Moved by Commissioner Awesome that the proposal received from AT&T for 3 new phones for the Water, Wastewater, and Parks Departments be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Is there a second, Commissioner Gainier, any discussion?
And it's just the phones we had are outdated technology, and the smartphones need to take pictures and text or email them to the supervisors and be more efficient.
Okay, any other comments? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Anything else for the council, Commissioner Awesome?
No, Mayor.
Okay, Commissioner Gainier?
We have the report of the police chief for the month of August. Squad car calls, 1,388. Arrests, 280. Prisoners, 49. Sent to state institutions, 3. Sent to the county jail, 8. And sent to juvenile probation, 7. Moved by Commissioner Gainier that the report of police chief Brent A. Rolson for the month of August 2016 be received and placed on file.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Eichelkraut, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut. Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
We have the report of the fire chief for the month of August. Number of bell alarms, 2. Number of still alarms, 25. Activated alarms, 9. Number of medic calls, 249. Number of transfers, 55. Mutual aid, 6. MABUS calls, 3. Number of patients, 240. Total calls for August, 343. Vehicle loss and total loss for August was at $10,000. Total non-residents billed for medical services was 80. Moved by Commissioner Gainier that the report of Fire Chief Steve Haywood for the month of August 2016 be received and placed on file.
Is there a second? Commissioner Less, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome.
Aye.
Gainier?
Aye.
Eichelkraut?
Aye.
Less?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye. Anything else for the council, Commissioner Gainier?
Yes, I do have one, excuse me, one announcement to make for the public. If you have a fire hydrant in your yard, please don't go out and paint it. They're painted specific colors to allow the fire department to know, excuse me, what the flow of that fire hydrant is. It's come to our attention, there's been a couple that residents have decorated up and painted. So we'd just like to remind everybody not to paint the fire hydrants in their yard. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Last, you have anything for the council tonight?
Nothing this evening, sir.
Keith, anything for the council?
No, sir.
Christina?
No, sir.
We'll move to the mayor's part of the agenda.
We have the report of the registrar for the month of August. There were 27 birth certificates issued and 40 death certificates. Certified copies were issued with fees totaling $2,694. Moved by Mayor Eschbach that the report of registrar Shelley L. Monks for the month of August 2016 be received and placed on file.
Is there a second? Commissioner Eichelkraut, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier?
Aye.
Eichelkraut?
Aye.
Less?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that the report of the Parking Administration Department showing fines collected of $2,019 for the month of August 2016 be received and placed on file.
Is there a second? Commissioner Awesome, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier?
Aye.
Eichelkraut?
Aye.
Less?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
We have the report of the building official for the month of August. There were 15 building permits with fees totaling $7,577. Total number of on-site building inspections, 44. There were 3 sign permits for $132, 2 pool permits for $75, 8 fence permits for $400, 2 tree care permits for $400, 12 general contractor licenses issued for $1,200, 1 home occupation permit for $50, 4 electrical licenses renewed for $400, 3 new electrical licenses issued for $300, 18 electrical permits for $650, total number of on-site electrical inspections, 38. There were 6 plumbing permits, which were included in the building permit fees, for total number of on-site plumbing inspections, 18. Our ordinance enforcement officer did a total of 160 inspections with permits and licenses of 74, with fees collected $11,184. Moved by Mayor Eschbach that the report of building official Michael J. Sutphen for the month of August 2016 be received and placed on file.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Awesome, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that the report of the sidewalk program showing 1 participant in the amount of $62.50 for the month of August 2016 be received and paid for from the general corporate fund.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Eichelkraut, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that an ordinance amending Chapter 102, Section 102-151 of the Municipal Code of the City of Ottawa, LaSalle County, Illinois, regarding parking fines be passed and approved.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Gainier, any discussion? This is a slight change, as I understand it, in our overtime parking ordinance, is that correct? It's still $10 if you pay it within 10 days, but after that, it goes up to $25. And, like any other violation, if it's not paid, you'll end up getting a notice setting it for administrative hearing. So there's a lesson there somewhere. Any other comment? Roll call, please.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that an ordinance repealing Chapter 102, Division 2 of the Municipal Code of the City of Ottawa, LaSalle County, Illinois, regarding parking administrative adjudication be passed and approved.
Is there a second? Commissioner Eichelkraut, any discussion? It's kind of a temporary item we had placed on, or had approved until we got our administrative hearing process going, which is now in effect. Other comment? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that an ordinance amending Chapter 3, Sections 3 through 9 of the Municipal Code of the City of Ottawa, LaSalle County, Illinois, regarding the hearing officer findings be passed and approved.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Awesome, any discussion? One of our attorneys want to explain what this one's about.
Sure, Mayor. That is a change allowing, when we passed the administrative code, it didn't allow for us to enter judgments immediately following the ruling of the administrative law judge of finding a viable finding. There was some changes in the legislation that it now allows us to enter into judgment right away, and so that change just allows us to conform to the statutory requirements.
Good. Any other comment? Roll call, please.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that a resolution authorizing execution of agreements between the City of Ottawa and multiple 2016 Oktoberfest vendors be adopted.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Awesome, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that the report of the Plan Commission meeting held on Monday, August 29, 2016, considering the rezoning request from Thomas Reynolds for property owner MLC Irrevocable Trust Number 020812 for property located at 620 West Madison Street be received and placed on file. Be it further moved, the council concur with the recommendation of the Plan Commission and the property be rezoned from Class B Single, Two-Family, and Multifamily Residence District to Class C3 Special Business District, and the follow-up ordinance be passed and approved.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Gainier, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that the report of the Plan Commission meeting held on Monday, August 29, 2016, considering the conditional use permit for a plan unit development request and preliminary and final plat approvals for Heritage Harbor, West Peninsula, Units 1A and 6, be received and placed on file. Be it further moved, the council concur with the recommendations of the Plan Commission and the conditional use permit be granted and the preliminary and final plats be approved and the follow-up ordinance be passed and approved.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Gainier, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that the request from Stein subdivision to subdivide 1711 and 1713 Guyan Street be received and referred to the Plan Commission for review and recommendation.
Is there a second? Commissioner West, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that the request for a conditional use permit from Ottawa Friendship House for property located at 824 Ottawa Avenue be received and referred to the Plan Commission for review and recommendation.
Is there a second? Commissioner Eichelkraut, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Eschbach that the request for preliminary and final plat approval for the re-subdivision of Brookside Subdivision Lot 1 be received and referred to the Plan Commission for review and recommendation.
Is there a second? Commissioner Awesome, any discussion? Roll call.
Awesome. Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Do you have anything else? Moved by Mayor Eschbach that this council recess into closed session to discuss matters of purchasing or leasing real estate and personnel.
Is there a second to the motion? Commissioner Gainier? Before we vote on that, I just want to say that we don't anticipate on taking any formal action tonight after we come out of executive session. But as always, people are willing to stick, or welcome to stick around if they like. Roll call, please.
Awesome.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Less.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Mitchell.
I never had any idea fire hydrants are color coded.
It's operational.
Bob.